say you got a team, but my team going harder. You niggas get out of line. I'm a bullet cause I out in the corner, but
Hey, what's up guys, it's SNipEz, and today I'm doing a little bit different recording for the audio because I was in the middle of making the house and part 1 just got done, but then I realized my audio wasn't recording. So I usually do my recordings live when I'm actually making the house, but since this one the audio wasn't working, I'm going to try my best to do a voiceover of it. And so we're going to try our best to do all of this and get everything right. So I'm sorry if the video seems a little bit off and the details aren't as precise, just because this is a mansion and this is house number 16, and we're going to be using snow and we're going to be using clay. You also need sandstone stairs and sandstone blocks and glass panes. Like I said, the audio will be a little bit different since I can't really make this while I'm recording the audio, just because the video is already made, so I'm just doing a voiceover of it. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Alright, so let's get started. Whew, it's extremely hot in my room right now. There we go. Let's get the sandstone stairs. There they are. Alright, you want to stack up the sandstone stairs twice, but before we get to that, man, this is a lot different recording style. We're going to make a pretty big window. So this house is going to have a lot of huge windows, as you can see in the thumbnail for the video. You're going to want to lay down 9 blocks in a row, and the floor for the actual house is going to start on the second block. So imagine you're starting up on the second block is where the most, like we're going to be starting all your pieces. Then starting on the second block, you want to stack up 10 on the corners, and on the corners you want to come out 2. So again, the window is 9 blocks long. Alright, so we stacked up 10, so we're going to have 4 blocks of headroom on each side, or on each floor I should say. Alright, so that's how big the window is going to be. Now we want to make it too wide, or too deep, however you want to say it. There we go. Make sure you get the 2 blocks underneath as well. Go down, fill this in. Alright, now you want to take out your glass blocks, and we're going to use the glass blocks to fill in the window. We're going to be using more glass blocks on this house other than glass panes. I know in my other houses I use glass panes a lot more than I use glass blocks, but in this house I really think the glass blocks look better instead of the glass panes. Alright, so that's how big our window is going to be. You're going to see a lot of these big windows on this house. In my opinion, I like these houses a lot, or these windows. You're going to take out your clay, lay down 5 in a row, and stack it all the way up to where it's even with the big window we just made. So stack it all the way up, go all the way down, go up 1 more. There we go, now we have our clay wall. Alright, now what we're going to do, take out your snow. We're going to make another one of those big windows. Wait, no we're not. Sorry, I was thinking a little bit ahead. You're going to be making these windows that go all the way down 1 strip. So it's like 1 big window. Make sure we place the 2 blocks on the bottom, because again, the floor for the house is going to start on the second block. So we're going to make 2 big windows, or 3 big windows like this. So let's add 1 more. I'm sorry if this is a little bit confusing. It's a little bit confusing for me too, seeing that I usually record when I'm actually making these. Alright. Now what we want to do, take out our stairs, come diagonal from the snow, from the window we just placed, and you want to lay down 2 things of sandstone stairs going 2 tall. So like this, get rid of the 3rd one, let's use 2 instead. Alright, stack it up 2 tall like that. Now you're going to need sandstone blocks, and you're going to come out 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stack it up 2 tall. Not 3 tall, I did that by accident. Alright. Now you want to go 7 out the other way. So those first 2 blocks count. So there you go. Now we can make a perfect square with the sandstone. Make sure we fill in everything underneath. You really don't have to, but if somebody does break your house and looks underneath there, it will look a little bit better. So we did miss 1 block, but it's not really a huge deal. Alright, so just fill it all in. Now we have a perfect 7x7 square for the sandstone, and this is where our front door is going to go. We want to add stairs on the other side, but before we get to that, we're going to get rid of this corner piece. And then you're going to stack up with snow all the way up to the top of those main windows. So it should be 12 tall altogether if you're counting from the ground up. If you're counting from the second block, it's going to be 10 blocks. And you want to come diagonal, so you should have 3 diagonal pieces like that. So that's what that should look like. Now we're going to place the sandstone stairs on this side as well. Then underneath the stairs, we're going to replace, or not replace, but put sandstone blocks underneath. Just like that. Alright, now that we have that, what we want to do now is we're going to make a little outline of the sandstone above. And it's 3 blocks away from the sandstone. So on the 3rd block is where you start making it, I believe. That looks about right. It might be on the 4th block, if I'm not correct. I'm sorry, it's a little bit hard for me to remember. And we're thinking about making that a patio. Alright, you want to take out your clay and have the clay go all the way around from that huge window we added with the 3 small windows. And then you're going to stack up clay going 5 tall or 7 tall if you're starting from the ground up. So stop it right here. And then, whoop, misplaced those. Alright, so we're doing that. Stack this up, only 2 more rows to go. Alright, now that's done. Now what we want to do is we can always come back to that later. Again, we're thinking about making that like a little patio that you can come out to on the front porch. We could make the doors 1 block away from the corners, and we could have 2 doors since it's a big enough house and they're close enough together. So if you're on one side of the house, you can always go open up the door. We're going to lay some sandstone down next to the stairs so we can add like a little railing with the glass panes. So just like that. Then put the glass panes on top of it. Alright, so that's looking pretty good so far. And that's our little front patio or front porch to get into the house. Alright, now what we want to do, we want to take out our snow. And we're going to make one big wall with no windows. It's just going to be using snow. And that's about it for this big wall. So it's going to be coming out 3, 4, whoop, misplaced, 5, and it's going to come out 5 blocks wide. It's actually have it come out 7 instead of 5, so then we can add a little bit bigger window in the middle if we always want to later. Alright, now that we have that, what we want to do now, we want to take out, let's see, we're going to make the same window that we made there, but I think we should use clay instead for a wall. So come out 5, let's see, have it to where the clay comes out from the middle block of those 3 diagonal pieces on the front porch. So the clay should be on the same block as that middle piece. And then this wall is going to go all the way up to 12 blocks tall or 10 blocks tall if you're counting from the second block. So the clay should be being even with all the other windows we've added so far in that main wall that we've added. Now what we want to do is make that big window that we talked about earlier. So lay down 9 things of snow in a row, stack it up 2 tall. So just make sure we get it right. So add 2 more, make it 2 tall on the bottom, then 2 on the sides. And then this will be 2 deep again. Make sure you stack it up all the way to where it's 10 tall or 12 blocks tall if you're counting from the ground up. Now I'm going to come on the other side of the window and we're going to make it to where it's 2 deep. So come around back here and stack it up. Just make the same outline of the window. Alright, misplaced that block. Alright, there we go. Now fill it in with the glass blocks again. And then just make sure we fill everything in. Boom, that window's done. Now what we want to do is, let's see. I'm trying to think what I did next. I can't really remember. I think we're going to make another clay wall. 2, 3, 4, 5. So come out 5 with the clay. And the clay is going to go all the way up to where it's going to be 10 tall or 12 tall if you're counting from the ground up. You might notice I'm saying that a lot. I'm just trying to give you guys as much detail as possible. You just have to remember that the stairs or the floor starts on the second block. So basically think of the map as the map starting on the second block. And so we're going to make another one of those big windows that we made just on the other side of this wall. So again, you should know how to make this window by now. Stack it up 10 tall. And it's going to be 2 deep again, or 2 wide. Make sure we get the 2 bottom rows right there. And then we're going to fill it in with the glass blocks once we get done. Just repetition. Not too hard. Boom, we're done with that. And just fill it in one more row with the glass panes. I missed a block there. And out of creative mode and place it. Alright, so this is what our house is looking like so far. This is a pretty big house, as you can tell. One thing we want to do, we're going to take out some grass blocks and oak leaves. And then in front of the house, on every single wall, you're going to place a dirt block. And then on top of the dirt block, you're going to place the oak leaves on top of it. Just for a little bit more design and look to the house itself. To make it look a little bit more natural, if you could say that. I guess that'd be a good word for it. Alright, just come all the way around the house. Oop, I dropped my phone. Alright. This is one of my favorite houses to make, though. This is an extremely pretty house. It is extremely tall. I dropped my phone again. Stupid phone. Alright, so we're still placing the oak leaves on top. Make sure we do it in front of the house as well, where the stairs are. And then let's make sure we get over here. And then we're probably going to sleep so we can skip to the daytime. And I know one thing we're going to be doing later at the end of the video is we're going to be placing stone slabs in front of the glass blocks, just so you don't have the dirt showing in the front, or you don't have it showing as much. Alright, so we're done with that. And now, let's see. We're going to make some more windows, I believe. Or, I think we're going to be making the patios now. We're going to have 2 balconies over here. We're going to start off with 1, but then later I decide that 2 looks better. So we're going to come out 5 with the clay, come diagonal from that big window. And then stack it all the way up to where it's going to be 5 tall. I did mess up here. I forgot that the 2 blocks, we start on the second block, so I did mess up there. It's actually to where we're actually going to extend the wall to where it's going to be 10 blocks long, not 5. So it should be a 10 by 5 square. So 10 blocks long, 5 blocks up. I did mess up, like I said. I thought that the balcony goes here, but like I said, I forgot that the floor starts on the second block, or the house starts on the second block. So, I will catch my mistake later in the video. I just didn't catch it now. So make sure we add all that. You can kind of ignore this part if you want. Well, that's all up to you. Alright. So we're still working on that. We're going to go all the way up. And we're just going to do this. We're going to have a 2 block doorway, for room for 2 doors. Make 2 windows on the sides. Okay. Let's add the glass panes for the railings. And then let's add some pillars on the corners, just so it looks like there's actually some support holding it up. We actually are going to get rid of those supports later, because there's actually going to be another balcony starting on the bottom level, but we'll get to that towards the end of the video. And so the roof is actually going to start 1 block away, so on the 9th block, so you should have 1 block of clay showing. And you're going to have it to where this overhang comes out 3 blocks from the balcony we have right now. So it should come out 3 blocks farther from the balcony we have now, down below. And then we're going to make some pillars on the corners just like we did before. And then do it on both sides. Again, it just makes it to where it looks a little bit more real, having the supports holding up the roof. Alright. So this is what the house is looking like so far. We're almost done with the video, guys. Man, it is so hot in my room. I think this is where I realized I messed up on the floor over here. I did the same thing over here. We're gonna make another clay wall. Head to where it comes at 5. Stack it up 5 tall or 7 tall if you're counting from the ground up. I did the same mistake I made over on the balcony over here. We're also gonna add it to where clay comes back on the other side. So we could make a perfect square out of this. So it should be a 5x5 little 2 wall. Stack up the snow going all the way up to the top of the windows. And then I think this is when I realized I messed up on the balcony. Yep, this is when I realized I messed up. And so we're gonna just move this balcony up a little bit. And just get rid of all this. Alright. We're gonna fill this back in since we're not gonna need that. Fill that in. Get rid of that block. So that's where the floor is gonna start. There we go. That's where our balcony should start. Have it come out 3. So it's basically you're using the same balcony, just moving up 2 blocks. Alright, now put the glass. We're actually gonna get rid of these pillars, so you don't have to add them if you don't want to, and you'll see why here in a minute. Let's make the doorway again, and the 2 windows on the side. And then above the doorway, put snow. And then let's make the 2 windows after we make the railings out of the glass panes. Alright, the 2 windows right here on both sides of the doors. And I think this is when I realized I messed up on the other side. Or actually, this is when we make the second balcony down below. So starting on the second block, we're going to make a balcony come all the way out to where the pillars are. Like the 2 main pillars that hold up the roof. We're going to have it come all the way out this far. So then just fill all this in with snow. Fill that in. Then we're going to put glass panes for the railings. Get rid of these pillars. Like I said, we're not going to use them anymore. Now put the glass panes connecting the pillars to the house and the balcony. Boom. Now let's make our doorway so we can actually get onto the balcony. That's kind of important to have. Then on the sides of the doors, we're going to make a 2x2 little window. So it's like a perfect 2x2 square. So again, this is what the house is looking like so far. I think that looks a lot better having the second balcony on the bottom. Then over here is when I realized I messed up over here. And then, so that's where it starts. And then we're going to stack this up to where it's going to be 5 tall. Boop. Get rid of those because those aren't supposed to be there. Do that. And then, let's see, what should we do? Let's take out, let's do this. Make it to where it's going to be like a pretty big window. Like a corner window is what you could call it. So we can do that. We're almost done with the video. And then we're going to make another big window. Again, just coming diagonal from this corner piece we just added. Or wait, yeah, we're making another big window, if I am correct. Okay. Make it to where it's too wide again. And then fill it in with the glass blocks. We are going to be using these windows a lot around the house. It's going to be like this kind of window house. There's going to be plenty of windows in this house, I can tell you that. Now fill it in with the glass panes. Or not glass panes, the glass blocks. Boom. One more row to go. Alright. Now, what we should do now is... I think this is when we put the stone slabs in front of the glass or the grass blocks. I keep mixing up the glass and the grass blocks because they sound the same. So just put them in front of every grass block. I got it right that time. Alright. Then you don't have to add these if you don't want to, but I think it just makes the house look a little bit better. But that's all up to you. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Again, these houses are all optional. You don't have to make them. If you just come for the video to watch it, I thank you guys for watching the videos a lot. Because I know some people don't watch the houses or build the houses. They just watch just for the video to get some ideas. Because I've done that before. And then put the stone slabs in front. Alright. And then right about now is when I realized that my audio was not working after we got done with these slabs. I forgot the ones right by the front door, right here. Put those there. Alright. I think we're gonna make the place right above the front door. We're actually gonna make this into a patio or a balcony. So I just filled this in with snow. And then right around now is when I realized my audio wasn't working. And then just fill that in. Yeah, this is when I realized my audio stopped working. So hopefully I described the video pretty well for you guys. Again, I did do a little bit differently with how I set everything up, just because the audio did not work out the way it was supposed to. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Please rate and subscribe. Stay tuned in Wednesday and next Friday to continue this mansion. So thanks for watching, guys. Please rate and subscribe.